right, and we're live. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another weekly chat of Black Tech Futures Media. I'm your host today, Jamil. Ira is still doing her thing in Louisiana right now, just doing her travels. But she is helping us on the technical side. Today we have a very dope guest. It is a personal friend of mine who's also on the production team for an artist that we work for. He's a creative director, but he's also an entrepreneur. I'd like to welcome Emil. Emil, come on down, man. Where you at?
Good morning.
Good morning, man. What's going on? How you doing? How you feeling?
Good, man. I'm feeling real good. I'm excited for this.
Yeah. So before we got on, I had it because this was kind of a last minute thing. We did have another show prepared, but we just adapted, and I had Emil in the back of my mind because we always have interesting conversations, that are not recorded. And I was like, you know what? Let's have that conversation on live. And he was all for it. So what are we gonna converse about? Emil is a part of the population that thinks crypto is a hype. That it's just very short term, and that it's not going to really have any lasting effects. And of course, I completely disagree. And I want us to kind of just share with you guys our thoughts on crypto, and maybe you guys can see both sides of the conversation and opinions that we have on crypto. So Emil, let's kick this off. So why is it that you don't think, first and foremost, why do you think crypto is hype? Why do you think it's not long lasting? Why do you think it's just here for a short time?
I do believe there is, like you say, the hype about it, but I don't think that it's unvalued, or I don't think there's a value behind it, or I don't think that it's dumb to get into it at this time. I understand definitely what's going on at this time is a very unique event in our economy, in the market in general. I don't think this has ever happened before, honestly. And I honestly don't see it happening again, because it's so rumor driven, and everything that got started with the Reddit rumors and this and that. I mean, I'm a long time Reddit user, mostly for just I'm not even anything related to the economy, but just the fact that it kept popping up everywhere on Reddit was just really crazy to me. And then it started influencing the market for real. So I just think that it's good to be able to get into it this time and be able to day trade and make your money and get out of it. But I don't see why there's this high population, including yourself, that are real true believers in it, and they're really believing in it, and this is the future, and this is it. This is the future of the market and everything. This is how we're going to trade in the future. I just don't see that as being a realistic aspect of the economy. I don't think it will change to that level. I mean, I do think that maybe this will affect even the stock market, or even, for example, a bigger scale like Forex, in the fact that now we have this way to spread rumors so quicker, which is always the driving force behind the stock market and the economy and everything since forever. It's always about, what do people think we're going to do next? And it's always your best guess. And I mean, that's what you're betting on most of the time anyway, is your best guess. But I just think that during this time, it's so influential for something to happen on Reddit or Twitter, or for Elon Musk to go on SNL and have his mom say this thing or whatever, and everybody's dropping and the market's going crazy. So I really feel like it's a isolated event, honestly.
Okay, all right. So now let me ask you this, because I definitely want to touch on those points that you have, but let me just, because this question just popped in my head. So that's how you feel about crypto and its future. Where do you see the US dollar in the future? How do you see that going?
I do think, and I do know more, this is more on the fact that I'm really big into conspiracy theories, so don't put too much salt into this. But I do think,
with that in context,
with that in context, that I'm a conspiracy theorist. I do believe they are, and when I say they, I mean the government is pushing us toward United States form of cryptocurrency, where it will be a dollar based on some form of cryptocurrency, but it will be whatever the government backed thing is. And that's where I see the future going, and I think that only because crypto is just easier. And at this point, it's like there's no gold in Fort Knox. You know what I mean? There's no, they're not printing $1,400 for everybody that got a stimulus check and paper money to back it up. You know what I mean? That doesn't really exist. It's just numbers in a computer somewhere. And I do know logically, as a logical person, that the ultimate form of that is going to be cryptocurrency.
So, all right. So this is interesting now. So now you're saying that crypto within the space of like Bitcoin, Ethereum,
yes,
all these altcoins and Dogecoin and all that, that is the isolated event
yes,
of those types.
Exactly.
But you're saying that
I would say more like the Dogecoin and the stuff and Doggy Coin or whatever, and all that stuff that's going on right now.
Okay, so all right, so this is interesting. So you do see a future in cryptocurrency, just not ones that are kind of just
absolutely. I mean,
Nakamoto.
Yeah, I always knew that crypto was going to be the future. Absolutely. Just for the fact that also, I mean, this is really high on a lot of people's, wealthier people's list, is the fact that it's so untraceable as well. And it's very easy to not have to pay taxes with with all your money in crypto.
Right.
So that's going to be a big thing too. I mean, that's already a big thing in our government and tax reform and all this stuff with the wealthy not paying in enough taxes. So it's going to be another form, another way for when you do get to that point of a certain wealth that you're able to, skirt your way around all this stuff.
Right.
Easier.
So you're pretty much saying that, like, in terms of just where the future of like usability of money, it's going to be, because we already kind of don't use paper, right? We rarely use paper.
Exactly.
It's all credit cards, it's all Apple Pay, it's all, tapping the card nowadays, right? So it's going to get into that form where it's digital currency. But you're saying that it's still going to be backed by the government, controlled by the government, still going to be centralized. No, it's not what you don't think there's going to be a decentralization where people are in control of governance, where it's a consensus form. It's still going to be head by a government.
I think so. But I mean, then again, there is also the argument that the government is not really in control of the economy at any time, because there's still the events that happen, like the recent recession where the housing market collapsed, and the government was not in control of any of that, and they were having to bail out banks. And there were banks that were part of the Federal Reserve that didn't even want to take their bailouts because they didn't need them, but they were forced to in order to, make it look like everybody is taking this bailout. So, and that's the thing too. And even the federal government, when they take over banks like that, it doesn't necessarily mean now they're in control of that. You know what I'm saying? I still think there's a controlling power of the Federal Reserve, of the banks, of the wealthier class of the citizens that will always, no matter what, control the majority of the economy, of what the economy is doing, of where the money's going and everything like that. So I don't think necessarily it will be government controlled, but as you say, it will be centralized and government based.
Okay, because that's what a lot of people feel too, because just because this cryptocurrency is decentralized, because people have the power to and algorithms and coding, right? And these protocols have the power to make these transactions, these trustless systems where you don't have to have an intermediary, aka a bank or a government, where it's all done peer to peer, right?
Yeah.
But even then, it's because it's so in its new stages, people don't understand the behavior, how that works yet, I personally think. And so that's why these centralized places are starting to pop up now, because it's more of a way to guide people, right, in terms of how to use their money. So say, for example, you have these big exchanges where you keep your crypto on, like a lot of people do, like Coinbase. It's a wallet, but it's a centralized wallet. It's what is it called? It's a custodial wallet, meaning it's pretty much a bank. It's a regular bank. It's a Wells Fargo. It's they have a customer service. It's if you lose your password, you can possibly steal. Whereas a non-custodial wallet like a MetaMask, it's a wallet that you have complete control over. It's your digital wallet that if you lose the password for or any control, it's gone forever, right? So there are these ways, right? But people still don't understand because it's so new. So of course, the people
I am familiar with MetaMask, and I understand the value of peer-to-peer transactions.
Right.
However, this is my question to both of you probably.
Right.
Is there a responsibility by any one of us to the economy? You know, I understand, of course, there's a personal responsibility to yourself, to your own family, you know, to your own self-esteem to be successful and to make your own money. However, I do think that each of us, we do have a responsibility to the economy. This might be kind of an older thinking that I have, but, and this is the issue that I have also, is that now we're creating a new market that's not necessarily beneficial to everyone in the economy. You know what I mean? Because I don't think that crypto is ever going to be so unlimited, where it's everybody is so accessible to everybody until it's centralized, until it is the form of the US dollar. And now you're able to have everybody from Warren Buffett, and now you have everybody from the single mom with 3 kids, you know what I'm saying, that's able to use. Yeah. Right. And so now it's going to be beneficial to the entire economy in general. Right. But I do think there is, you know, I don't know if this is fully viable right now, because as you say, it's still kind of a niche market. And just, you know, despite what you people want to say about social media and this and that, it's not really a majority of people that really actually are invested in crypto yet. I mean, that's a good thing for you guys, though. It's not anything bad at all. But what I do mean to say is that once it does start getting bigger, now are we taking away people that we would need in the economy, or now are we taking away flow of money that we would need in our regular economy, and now we're putting it in this peer-to-peer based economy, which I do understand is good for people. It's good for artists. It's good for people in general that, you know, when you want to sell your services or your goods or whatever, and it makes sense. And like I say, that's why I see it as the future of money in general. That's going to be the economy. Right. But it's going to be centralized only because there has to be some sort of system that everyone's able to benefit off of, and that everyone is also able to have some contribution towards as well.
Yeah, which, and I don't think it's going to be up to the individual for it. It's going to be these like other, you know, these communities, right? These crypto communities, these people that are building off of the Ethereum network. And I think these are going to be the people that are going to guide, and they're going to make these new systems that when it trickles down to the normal person, they're probably just still going to be able to use a card, and it's still going to be the same. It's not going to happen tomorrow, but you know, it's going to take time. But you have these
that's a lot
announcements happen.
That's a lot of faith to have in these, you know, like you say, community leaders who are leading these, you know, these coins and these cryptocurrencies. I mean, that I personally think that's a lot of faith.
Elon Musk is doing it. A lot of people got faith.
That's true too. Of course. Yeah. And I agree. And, you know, if anybody, you know, Elon Musk is the Tony Stark of the world. So
he is. I mean, you know, you got people like him and Mark Cuban saying that there's becoming more and more usability for crypto because of people like him saying, hey, you could buy your Tesla in Dogecoin. Hey, you want to go to the, or, you know, travel around the earth, you could pay for that trip in Dogecoin. You know, they just announced that Doge won. They're starting to accept Dogecoin. So of course it's very, you know, it's again, you know, so these big guys they're going to start it up, but you know, these big companies,
I have even an issue with the fact of centralized versus decentralized, because I mean,
I think that's where your core problem is, right? Yeah,
because I mean, even what you're saying to me sounds like a different form of control. Like, so now what? Now companies are gonna, so now Tesla and SpaceX is going to decide, you know, it's going to be SpaceX Bank, and it's going to be SpaceX.
Yeah. I mean, but that, and that's what's going to have to like happen with time, right? Like we're just going to have to find out.
So I think that the difference between centralized and decentralized, I mean, there always has to be a main focal point of where this is going to be based around. So,
and that's how a lot of people feel, right? Like a lot of people
when you say decentralized, I mean, you're just saying that, okay, so now it's going to be centralized around a business or somebody's name or something else or whatever.
Right. Right, right. I see what you're saying, because right now what you're saying is like in there's a population of people like specifically in this NFT world where artists have a real lane and a real shot to actually have their own career solidified, as opposed to being those starving artists that are having to chase their dollars, where they can build a system for them to just continuously make money and have a platform where their art can live. Yeah, right. It's a first case for blockchain technology on true ownership for something that's a digital, a digital asset, right? As opposed to just like these normal paintings that are, being held at galleries, in which galleries take 50% only on a first sale, and artists never make money thereafter, right? Technology is
Right.
allowing to change that complete system. But guess
Yeah.
what? There are galleries that are, these marketplaces are still popping up, OpenSea. But the good thing about that is that OpenSeas aren't taking no 50% like a gallery would. They're just doing 15. And there's a
I
royalty
do believe
structure.
NFT has a lot more value, honestly, than anything else, even crypto, probably even stocks at this point.
I mean, but it's
Because,
based. It's being treated like one, right? And I think it's only growing because it's art is just the first step to take. People are
exactly.
selling property as a token, as an NFT,
Right.
because they don't have to deal with real estate agents, right? But then there's even issues with that. Wait a minute, how are taxes being paid now? What's that looking like? There's a lot of legal questions that still are in the middle of being answered. Governments are scrambling on how is crypto being taxed. Of course, crypto does get taxed when you are trading it, because of course when you want to cash out, you still pay those gains.
Exactly. You still
So
have to pay those
people
fees.
don't think that you're not getting taxed. You are getting taxed
Exactly.
when it comes to
Yes.
crypto. It's just when you
Yes.
keep crypto on these networks, yeah, you don't get taxed, right? But
Right.
if you're on Robinhood, Coinbase, you are getting feed and you are getting taxed. Do not think you're not. You are.
Absolutely.
Because
Yes.
at the end of the day, it still is attached to traditional financial institutions
Right.
that are expecting to
Still
get
putting it
paid
into your
when
bank
you
at
do
the
your
end of the
tax,
day. Yes.
because it's considered what, an investment
Right.
in their eyes, because of course it's not like we're going to overthrow these traditional systems in
Exactly.
one day. It's obviously going to take time. I understand that. I get that. I'm not naive to that, but I like to think we are at like the pioneer, like we are the ones that went over the mountain and seen the horizon, and we just want to tell everybody else, yo, it's up here. It does give more, it gives you a chance to become your own personal bank, right? Like it's like,
Mm,
but a lot of people don't want that. A lot of people might not want that. A lot of people might want someone more competent in finances and money management. But then again, you got a whole nother side of people that say, yo, banks don't do anything for us. They take our
right.
money just to lend it out again.
Yeah.
And then they want to charge us all these fees. And that's why crypto was born, because a good amount of the world thinks that we are more than capable of handling our own finances without having banks taking our money just to take it out of our accounts to go lend it. Yeah, our app says we have X amount there, but if you think your money's actually sitting somewhere, waiting for you to take, it's not. Of course, you go to the ATM and take it out, but I'm saying on the grand scheme of things, they just lend your money out to a $1 million business,
Absolutely.
and that, and do you get any interest off of that? No, unless you're on a online savings account, unless you are in an interest bearing account, pretty much, right? But that's why I went into crypto. Because I see the future in this. I see the value in becoming someone who can just have control over their finances, over everything, without having someone else do it. I guess right now it's a choice, but when is it going to be the preferred method of, and it's just usability too. I see a future of people just being able to just step out of places, walk into places, and pay for all the stuff that they want to pay for without even having, maybe just at first a bracelet, just to scan it and you're on and off. But it's going to get to that point. But I don't know, who knows how long that's going to happen, right? But that's just how I see things moving the way it's moving now. The dollar's not backed by anything now. Crypto, all these reserves, the reserves are the US dollar for a lot of these crypto, because people are asking, what's crypto being pegged to? Well, to your point, because of the volatility of just crypto in general, the Ethereums and Bitcoins alike, stable coins are becoming to be more valued now. It's where it's pegged to the US dollar, where there's a reserve of US cash that stabilizes that stable coin. And that's where you were kind of coming into saying that, until it gets to that point where it's just stable, because I mean, you didn't say that specifically, but based off of our conversation now, it was kind of leading into where the future of crypto is going to be. It's going to be a stable coin, because that's what it needs to be, right? Like with the volatility of just Ethereum alone, like it's climbing up every damn day, like it's wild. And then Bitcoin just, fluctuating. So where's the stability in, me being able to buy a cup of coffee one day and then all of a sudden being able to buy a Lambo the next day with that same amount? So, it is weird. That can't happen. But stable coins, guys, look into stable coins, if anything, because I think that's where these two conversations kind of meet. Tether, USDC, there's a couple other stable coins that I even take some of my profits out in crypto and put it in, just because it literally acts like my bank account without putting it in my bank account, because it's not going to fluctuate. So, I see both sides, but you know where I'm sticking, bro.
I hear you. I mean, like I say, you just got to be very careful with how much you're gonna stick into it and how much you're gonna believe it. And like I say, if you have the security of something that's stable, of something like you say, like a stable coin, that's cool. But to be honest, Jamil, too, I know you're a very unique thinker, and I know you're a very different person, just from the fact of you never wanted to work for anybody else, and you made that happen, just for that fact alone.
Hey, right back at you, brother. Right back at you.
That's the thing, and we don't think like everybody else, and so not everyone is going to be able to manage their own finances, as you say. Not everyone is going to be able to, make money off of my own money and not want to, put it into an interest-bearing account. There are people who still value that at the end of the day. So, and that's what I mean. And I think, to be honest with you, until everybody's mindset is really able to change, into the way that we think, where even me as a person who has my own investments in the stock market and everything, I believe that you have to be able to make your own money. You got to be able to make your own money work for you. Otherwise, you're really not doing anything anyway. Because like you say, the money that's in the bank, they're making it work for them. And are you getting paid off it? No.
Right. And, and to your point, that's there's nothing wrong with, taking the entrepreneurship route. And I love it. And I believe everyone should. But of course, there's nothing wrong with having a career, a 9-to-5.
Absolutely.
Working, because people like security. People like to know that they have something that they can stick to. And there's nothing wrong with that, because you can still have a 9-to-5 career and still have an entrepreneurial mindset, at least.
Yeah.
I know so many people that still have, that are lawyers and doctors and want to do side hustles, or they're proud of who they are as a career and still have influence, regardless, just as an entrepreneur has influence.
Yeah.
So I
a lot of people with company pride in their own company and what they do.
Right. And that's important. That's super important. That's what builds culture. And I personally think it's important. And to your point, I think that's who you're speaking to when it comes to crypto and use. How does it work for them, for this type of structure that's so attached to the government in terms of paying taxes and attached to all that? But I can see a world where it can be so decentralized to the point where people can work for companies that are just operating within their own ecosystem and creating their own and I mean, that's just me. I think so too. But what we have coming now is the creator economy, right? The creator economy is here, where we are working specifically with NFT artists. And this creator economy is considered to be a somewhat of a new term, but it's been around for like,
absolutely,
a good amount of years, ever since I became a videographer and started working for myself. But now it has a term now. It's like, this is a place where you can have a career at now, becoming your own boss, becoming your own creator.
Due to things like blockchain and even, like you say, even crypto, obviously, that made it possible now. And that's really why I feel like NFT is important, more so than a lot of other stuff that's going on in the economy, mostly because it is backed by blockchain, which I know for sure is the future.
Yeah, blockchain technology just in general is going to be the future either way. It's going to be integrated into our everyday lives. But cryptocurrency, maybe these altcoins, they're going to die out, and it's only going to be like maybe one or two, or something that the government knows. But the US dollar paper, it's gonna die one day. It's gonna die one day.
I mean, to be honest with you, I don't see that happening, only
No?
because if it comes to that point, I believe the US government at that point would back a cryptocurrency. You know, they would back a Bitcoin or back an Ethereum. And
Well,
now
that's what they're
Ethereum
starting
is
to
the
do
new
already.
US.
MasterCard, like these big they're starting to say, yo, Bitcoin can be that reserve.
So what's happening right now with that though, I think is the other way, is where I'm saying that all that stuff, Ethereum and Bitcoin and everything that MasterCard is working on and working with, that's going to back the US dollar for the new US crypto that's coming.
Right. So yeah, USD is gonna be kind of like what gold was for USD back. It's becoming that reserve now to back crypto, and that's where stable coins are coming from. So it's like they're
Right.
working in tandem, just for now, just because of the volatility, because it's still so early. So everyone's coming in, everyone's wanting to cash out, everyone's holding
Yes.
because they see the value in it, and you know that's kind of what you're seeing with Dogecoin because of Elon, because of, like you said, because of the rumors, because of because of social media making this a cultural phenomenon. You're saying it's unique
Yes,
in
literally.
that nature, which I understand, but I think it's a new step. I think it's going to be the new normal. I think it's only going to keep going up from here. I don't think it's going to disappear to say where, oh, well, you know, remember that crypto thing? No, I think it's here to stay. NFTs is only going to keep getting bigger, more complex when it comes to integrating it with businesses. Gary Vaynerchuk, he's doing a really cool thing where he's really getting the best of both worlds with NFTs in the physical world, where he's selling these NFTs, but they're also redeemable tickets for his conference that he's doing, which he's really hyping up to be the conferences of the conferences.
Yeah.
That's really cool. There's a lot of big booming like stories going on, and that's what a lot of people like yourself think that's all it is. It's just hype, it's just news, it's going to go away. Of course, for the first like couple months when the NFT boom did happen, yeah, of course people called it a bubble, and sure it was, but very, very on a small scale, it was a bubble. But on the long tail of things, this is going to be the new norm. This is going to be how the creator economy can solidify their income by using blockchain technology, and crypto is going to be integrated into that sooner than later. I personally think. I think it's only going to keep getting quicker and quicker as more and more of these individuals and companies, and yeah, it might be a different form of centralization, but I think it's going to, who knows? I think there might be a new tide. I mean, who knows? They might turn into the new banks and, become willfully blind to what their initial goal was supposed to be, which was freedom and decentralization. I don't know.
I mean, as you say, I could definitely see a future where you go to work for a company and they have their own ecosystem, literally, with built in within the company.
I think it's going to be, companies, instead of just, CEOs making, these decisions and all that stuff. I can see where businesses are kind of ran without an executive, a C-suite. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just straight people making rules and just making, and then equity and salaries are. I mean, of course, I could see a hierarchy still, maybe because of responsibility and competence, sure, but I don't know. I can see, I just see a new shift in way things are.
So like a group of crypto owners, they would be the board that controls a company.
Who knows? I don't know. I'm just talking out my ass right now.
Hey, listen, man. If that's the route, I'm all about it. If that's how we buy Disney, let's get it.
We'll see. But hey, man, we're pretty much up at the end, man. I had a great conversation with you, as always.
Yes,
I love how we can talk and disagree, but obviously, disagree respectfully, and
yes.
And because this is important, having these types of conversations.
Yes.
I don't want to just
absolutely. And at the end of the day, honestly, more than anything, I always want to just gain the most information possible, whether or not I agree or whatever. All this information.
That's important. That's
yes.
important. That's super important. Perspective is super important. I think it's
yes, absolutely.
all these different perspectives. Just because I believe in something doesn't mean I can't relate and see it from someone else's viewpoint, and
exactly,
and see how that works from there.
Just because I don't believe in something doesn't mean I'm not going to make money off it.
Hey, and that's the name of the game. All right, man, guys. Again, Catch all of our episodes on NFTcreativetraders.com. Hopefully next week, Ira is going to be able to join us. But you already know what we're into, man. We're going to keep updating you on NFT everything. As you can see throughout this conversation, I was kind of dropping some things here and there. I wasn't really specific on a lot of it, but it's these kinds of conversations that I love having either way, to really just show you guys what this world is about, even from someone else who, doesn't really see it that way. So that's why I wanted to do this episode. And have a great day, be productive, and be passionate. Peace. Emil, thanks, bro.
All right, man.
All right.